Hey guys, how's it going? It's Ollie here from CryptoVest.com. Today is the 24th of September and we're going to be looking at Bitcoin trading against the US dollar over one-day candles to begin with. And just to sort of bring everyone up to speed, if you haven't been following the price action of Bitcoin recently, we had a bit of a run-up actually, and for those, most of you will know, just before the weekend, so between sort of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Ripple had a huge surge. Stellar Lumens was also up. Bitcoin had a nice sort of pump, about sort of 8-9% as well. And we're finally back over $200 billion. We're kind of around the $222 billion mark right now. And some interesting things with Bitcoin actually to take note that I think a lot of people have missed. So we'll just run over the basics of what's happening with the price action. And so if you look at a lot of Bitcoin predictions, everyone's kind of sort of toying with the idea of this falling wedge, and there's very different ways in which you can draw this, and it's surprising because all you've got to do is kind of join the dots, but for the most part the sort of consolidation point for the wedge appears to be either following this sort of resistance or the support line of $4,400 or alternatively some people sort of prefer this $5,000 mark. For me, the way I've drawn in my fallen wedge, I prefer this $4,400 mark to be the sort of area of consolidation, although it could break early at the $5,000 mark. But for the most part, it seems like it's going to be going down before it comes back up. There's also something to consider is the price action. You can see the candles are traveling this falling wedge, but very recently they've started to track more faithfully to this sort of flat support here at the $6,000 mark. And so we've almost got now, more recently, a descending triangle pattern which is bearish. So I mean, it kind of supports the falling wedge pattern and the idea that we're actually going to continue bearish before we sort of reverse bullish. So the $6,800 mark is kind of a key resistance in the price action most recently, but something to sort of draw attention to. So we'll zip in quickly and have a look at the more recent price action over 1 hour candles. You can see the $6,800 mark is the sort of main resistance is here, and you can see we sort of over last week during that sort of great bull run, Bitcoin was able to nearly sort of recover a 10% gain, so we're nearly able to jump through. We actually briefly passed over the $6,800 mark. We snapped up at $6,840 and then came back down again. And we're actually traveling inside a bullish pennant. So you can see we had like decreasing lower highs and increasing lows. And then suddenly we've actually just broken bearish for a random sort of reason. There's not a great deal of news circulating why that would be an issue. There's sort of some SEC regulatory news just going around and things like that, but there's nothing really that should be driving Bitcoin's price down right now. And so it kind of seems like someone's really making an effort to push that price down, or a group of people, or all this manipulation and things like that. Because you can see it's actually traveling nicely at increasingly higher lows as we're reaching a consolidation of a bullish pennant. And from here it looked like we'd actually be kind of looking quite good for a continuation through the $6,800 mark, and as you can see just about, let's get rid of that. You can see that the actual main sort of falling wedge resistance is actually just above, so it would have been sort of heading towards that again, which we kind of did fairly recently, as you can see here back in sort of start of September. So we're like almost looking to test this for another time, but then obviously we've just now broken bearish. So why that happens? So let's take a look at BTC shorts and see what's happening. Sorry, BTC USD shorts. So let's have a look at the shorts market and what derivative traders are thinking, and you can kind of see a very clear trend here. In fact, we'll go over 1 day candles. You can see a clear trend in a decline in shorts, and quite a strong decline in shorts. So what that kind of tells us, looking at this specifically, is it telling us that people are expecting the price of Bitcoin to go up, or at least they're not expecting it to go down. I suppose longs. But then if you look at BTC longs, a lot of people aren't actually longing the asset either. So there's a bit of uncertainty. You can see there's give it that. Increase. So the longs aren't really going up either, so there's a bit of uncertainty, but people aren't expecting the values to go down, but they're not willing to bet on it to increase either. But sort of the most interesting point to actually look at is if you look at BTC over 1 week candles, so a very large range, a very broad range. And we look at the MACD indicator, we can see a very promising sign, and we'll look at this more closely. So as you can see on the MACD indicator, something that may have been missed by some is we're actually for the first time in a very, very, very long time. So since the start of the year, the 12 MA is actually finally crossing over the 26 MA, and pretty much since the 22nd of January, we're actually just now above the histogram, and buying candles are actually starting to appear. We're just over the signal line here, and this is incredibly good bullish signal, and we should expect quite a lot from this. As you can tell, we haven't had this come from the whole year, so this is a sign that momentum has finally increased for the asset. If we look at one-day candles as well over the MACD indicator, you can see, if we zoom out, that momentum's actually been uptrending, and we have a very nice, we saw a clear pattern actually from connecting the lower lows. You can see we've been gaining since mid-April, all the way back towards the signal line. And as you can see here now, we're just now starting to make our way back and cross over that. So it's all kind of tying in very nicely that we should be expecting a bullish run, or at least a good amount of bullish momentum to start picking up for Bitcoin going forward. And perhaps that's why the asset is experiencing some sort of unnatural bearish selling pressure right now. So a few things to sort of take into consideration. It's an interesting point, and it's definitely one to look out for and see if this actually plays out over the next sort of couple of weeks to a month or into Q4, and see if this can actually really deliver some results. But for the full TA, guys, and all the rest of it, it's kind of the usual. Head over to cryptovest.com, link will be in the description, and yeah, please like and subscribe and comment in the section below and let me know what you think, whether you think this will actually happen or whether you think otherwise, if we'll actually continue bearish and follow the falling wedge or the descending triangle pattern. But yeah, let us know, start a discussion. Cheers, guys.